It's Christmas time. Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Chris Smith. And guess what? Since I have the glittery microphone, that must mean that it's time to do the top movies on our tops and bottoms list. This is the 11th annual Tops, Part 1 of our tops and bottoms. So, let's start with number 10, shall we? Okay, and my number 10 is Challengers, that tennis movie that came out in April. It's a steamy, steamy tale starring Zendaya, Josh O'Connor, and Mike Feist. And it was so much fun and so dramatic, too, as two good friends compete and fight for the affections of one woman or something like that. I remember there may have been a three-way scene, but I digress. Challengers. Oh, I recommend it highly, and it's my number 10 movie. At number 9 is Smile 2. This is the follow-up to the very popular Smile that came out a couple of years ago. And Smile 2, I may have even liked a little better than Smile. And of course the tagline says, "It will never let you go." Now this one follows a big pop singer who has had some addiction problems, and she's trying to get her life together, but this curse of the smile comes and starts tormenting her. You know, this is sort of like The Ring. It sort of reminds me of The Ring, where you would get that videotape. Yes, videotape. Back in the day, kids, this movie was very scary. And Smile is sort of like that, because this curse of the smile, of somebody smiling at you, and then you start having these living nightmares. I thought this was a very, very powerful, haunting, living nightmare. It was very surreal, and there's some twists and turns in it. You don't really know if what you're seeing is exactly real, if it's a terrible dream. You're just sort of trapped in the nightmare with her. Smile 2. Okay, in number 8, this one might be a little controversial that it's in my top 10, but it's Terrifier 3, about that killer Art the Clown. It's from Damien Leone, and this review says, "Art is as much of a horror icon as Michael, Jason, and Freddy." See? It says it right there. I think, and Art the Clown does not speak, but he has a cute little horn, cute little hat, and a very, very murderous rampage. He is really a demon, and you don't really know why Art is doing what he's doing, except he's a demon. So he is just on a rampage of carnage. And this time, it's a Christmas movie. Now, look at this cute poster. This portrays Art having skinned Santa, and he's wearing his face as sort of a little necklace. Isn't that cute? I know it's not really cute, and the death scenes in this are pretty creative, pretty grotesque. Again, like Smile 2, it's sort of the stuff that nightmares are made of, and there's no escape from Art the Clown. But the story I thought was pretty interesting, as he continues terrorizing the girl from part 2, and now she's visiting her family for the holidays, and her brother are still having a hard time from what they went through several years ago in Terrifier 2. So, and boy, her family is sorry that she came home, for Christmas and Lord Art the Clown. Oh, I'll never think of Christmas the same. Well, maybe, but yes, it does send a little chill down my spine when I think of that first scene. Oh. Okay, at number 7, it's a good year for horror for me. You all think that I always put horror movies in the bottom. I'm pretty good to horror movies though, because they're in my top 10 as well. This one is Late Night with the Devil. Now, this one really upset me. I thought it was very chilling, and it really planted its seed in your brain. It says the live television event that shocked a nation. This one is done as if it's almost like a found footage or a lost footage type thing. It's set in the 70s, and the format is just of a television late night show, much like Johnny Carson. Now, in this one, this late night talk show host is competing with Carson, and he's just never been able to get to number 1. So he's having this Halloween episode live and has some supernatural guest, and including a little girl who is possessed by the devil, and they're going to hypnotize her and try and talk to the devil. You know, when Blackie just did that with the collar shake, it gave me the chills, because just talking about this movie really creeps me out. This was the first poster design, and then I would see the fire at his feet, and then the final poster is even creepier. His head is on fire. And the thing about this movie, it's much like, oh, Blackie, he almost destroyed my sign. Accidentally, of course. The thing about this movie is there's no escape from the terror that builds in this. Now, one little problem with it was when they would go to the commercial breaks, then I think it would switch to like a black and white in the commercial breaks, almost like it was behind the scenes. But the thing with the footage that's behind the scenes, like where people are backstage and stuff, the movie, it's not like handheld cameras. It actually seems like it's just part of the movie, but in black and white. And I thought that if we could have had more shaky cam and sort of, I don't know how to say it really, but just make it look more like it was like culled together behind the scenes type of thing, instead of like it's just part of the movie, and it wasn't a behind the scenes thing with cameramen who weren't supposed to be seeing what they're seeing. That was my only little tiny suggestion. Of course, once you've done the movie, you can't really change that. It's still very powerful, and it's only on Shudder, which not very many people that I know get Shudder. So it's a shame that I think you can rent it on Amazon Prime maybe, and probably other places. But I think that one will catch on, and it did pretty well in the theater with that, and reviews were very, very good. So I think it'll be a classic at Halloween. At number 6, it's Conclave. Now, this was a very powerful movie about what happens behind the scenes when a pope dies. I mean, I don't know how realistic it is, because there's a lot of jockeying for that position, and it's almost like you're fighting for the head of the boardroom or something, or the head of a company. It was a very backstabby, and it was a very powerful, interesting movie, I must say. Ray Fine, John Gielgud, John Lithgow. My Lord, John Gielgud. We haven't heard from him in a long time. Of course, he's no longer with us. But yes, John Lithgow is in it, and a great cast. And yes, I must say, I recommend Conclave at number 6. Now get ready. We're in the top 5. At number 5, it's A Complete Unknown, starring Timothy Chalamet. Now, this is the biopic about Bob Dylan and the beginning of his career. And I thought this was a very, very interesting movie. The music was excellent. Timothy Chalamet does a outstanding performance, a portrayal of Bob Dylan, who I really didn't know a whole lot about. It's like when I saw Girl from the North Country, I didn't know a lot of Bob Dylan's music, even if it was, subliminally a part of my life. Ever since I've been around, Bob Dylan music has probably been playing somewhere, but I didn't know a lot about the man. And this is a little bit of a peek into what he was like in those younger years. It's interesting how the movies that are about rock stars and singers, successful singers, like the Amy Winehouse movie, which we discussed the last time, and what else? The Elton John movie a few years ago, Rocket. What was that? Was it called Rocket Man? I don't even remember what it was called now. And of course, Better Man, which was that monkey movie, but it was about Robbie Williams and his career. They always have that period where they fall into drugs or alcohol, and they're their own worst enemies. And even though, of course, there's things like that in this movie, it didn't feel as hopeless as some of those biopics, because we all know that Bob Dylan went on to have a very good career and still has it. So yes, number 5, a Complete Unknown. Now, at number 4, we have Saturday Night, the movie from Jason Reitman that's really a love letter to Saturday Night Live. And it is set on the premiere night. Hey, this is the second late night live TV show that's in our top 10, if you count Late Night with the Devil. But yes, this is set on the premiere night, October 11th, 1975, of Saturday Night Live, which they just called Saturday Night, of course. There was apparently another show called Saturday Night Live that I believe starred Howard Cosell, so they would always have to say live from New York, it's Saturday night. And this was about that first night and Lorne Michaels. It's not a documentary, it's a movie. And they have different people playing the cast, like John Belushi and Jane Curtin and Lorraine Newman and the whole gang, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase. The guy playing Chevy Chase was very good. But look, the tagline says, "The writers are inebriated, the set is on fire, the sound system is wrecked, the actors are physically assaulting each other, the crew is in open revolt. They have 90 minutes to figure it all out, or the network is pulling the plug." Now, the cast members have said that, there are fictional things in this movie, but it was pretty accurate. And it was chaotic. It's true. Oops, look. I sort of miss my little sheets that I used to hold up with the posters. But yes, did you know that my favorite from Saturday Night Live was always, back in the day, was Jane Curtin. I just love her, and I'm a big Kate and Allie fan. But so with this movie, I just really loved it. I love things that are behind the scenes TV things, like broadcast news back in the day, about the news and things like this. Even Tootsie, to some extent, since it was about a soap opera behind the scenes. But yes, I love the chaos that goes on. And as somebody who sort of works in the entertainment industry, well, I do see a lot of chaos. It's true, even if mine is in post-production. But anyway, I really recommend Saturday Night. And since this is the 50th anniversary this year, which it's strange though because they celebrated the 50th anniversary in February, yet it started October 11th, 1975. So I decided when I do my celebration of Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary, I'm going to do an episode on this show in October when it should have been done. Wonder why they did it early. Anyway, at number 3 is The Substance, the movie starring Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley, which really has a lot to say about aging in Hollywood and anywhere, what one would do to stay young. Demi Moore plays an aerobic star. She's a TV star. Her show seems very boring. It's just like a Jane Fonda video that's gone on for years. But anyway, she's been a big star, and once she's hit 50, the network is ready to dump her, replace her with a younger version of herself. And that's when she finds out about the substance, which is this chemical that you inject. And it's very complicated. I don't know how anybody would be able to do any of this stuff because it really didn't come with very good instructions. But so she does take it, and you end up having a younger self that is on for 1 week, and then you get to be on for a week, and then the younger self comes back for a week. It would be very hard to maintain a job. And if one or the other abuses their time and doesn't or stays longer than a week, then there are terrible repercussions. This movie is wickedly funny. It is very, very bloody. It's so ridiculously gory that you will have a good laugh. And Demi Moore is the one I'm cheering for to win Best Actress at the Academy Awards. So we shall see. Now, at number 2 is The Wild Robot. Now this is almost like a bit of The Iron Giant, which was one of my all-time favorites. And in this DreamWorks movie, a very intelligent robot named Roz finds herself shipwrecked on an island and encounters all the animals and ends up taking care of a baby goose and must really raise this goose who's sort of an outcast, much like Roz. And it's just so beautiful. Oh, I cried so hard during this movie. And as soon as I'm emotionally prepared, I'm going to watch it again. I think it's on Peacock. And it is certainly on my list to watch, but every time I start to watch it, I just start crying. But it is so beautiful. The colors, everything about it. You must watch The Wild Robot. Don't be afraid for a movie to make you cry. It's cathartic to cry. And you can probably guess what my number 1 movie is. It is Wicked. The story of the Wicked Witch of the West and her friendship with Glinda the Good Witch that we saw in The Wizard of Oz. Now, of course, it's based on the book by Gregory Maguire and the musical from Stephen Schwartz and Winnie Holzman. And this is the movie version. Yes, it's a musical. And yes, it's very long. It's over 2.5 hours. And it is starring Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba, who will be the Wicked Witch of the West, and of course Ariana Grande as Galinda, who will eventually become Glinda, the good witch. And this, of course, says everyone deserves a chance to fly. I'm going to get this poster and hang it in my living room. I don't care what Marco says. But yes, this is from director John Chu, who has done many wonderful movies, including one of my favorites, In the Heights. And this is just part one. So part one, as you know, I'm sure most of you have seen it, except Caitlin Burry, who I often talk about, and for one reason or another, the fires, busyness over the holidays, she has not gotten around to seeing Wicked as of this taping. So we'll be excited to talk to her about it one day. And it's coming to Peacock in March. But, and part two, which they're calling Wicked for Good, will be in theaters in November of 2025. But this is the first one, which covers the first act of the musical, and it is incredible. It's just incredible. Everything that we hoped for this movie was achieved. The sets, the costumes, the colors. Maybe some of the scenes are a little long. I would have trimmed maybe 10 minutes from it myself. I thought that the Dancing Through Life number with Fiyero goes on a tad long, but those sets are so fabulous in that library with the rotating bookshelves and stuff that they probably were like, we spent millions of dollars on this set. Let's use it. But other than the length, which didn't bother me the first time I saw it, and the second time I saw it, I felt it a little more. But it's still fabulous. You must see it. You simply must see it. So that is my number one pick for 2024. And yes, the company that I work at did work on Wicked. Of course, that's not why I picked it. So I recommend anybody to go and see this. It is wow. Okay, so those are my top 10 movies, and I'm sure I will see you the next time it's Christmas time.